Well,
Okay,
okay.
now
There we
we're on
go.
the record. All right, so let's get this show on the foot. They've changed a number of things here. Like I used to be able to turn off the waiting room when we got started, so I didn't have to monitor people coming in. So I may have to be looking over to get things going because I can't seem to turn that off now.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, so I'm people might get stuck in the waiting room for a while while I don't see them. And so we have object we have at least one objection to the AI recording. So I won't restart that for now till unless people say without objection. Okay. Tonight is meant to be mostly a roundtable. Part of
Mhm.
the stuff we do at the first of the year is to try and solicit opinions from people that are our guests as to what they want to hear from us, what concerns they have for the city uh, of Shoreline and our neighborhood, and so what they want to hear from us in terms of bringing in people who can address those things. Um, so hopefully you got some issues in mind that you'd like to see covered over the year and things that are coming up, and tell us where we're missing what we should be doing and where we're not.
Yeah, potential topics, things like that.
And we have some sort of general reports coming up in the beginning of the meeting, business reports. Dale, do you have a treasurer's report to give? Or
Yeah.
you seem to be cutting out quite a bit.
Can you see this treasure report?
We can't see
No,
the treasury report. We cannot barely hear
can
you. There it comes.
you? Can I? Okay, see if I can turn up my audio. Hmm.
Yes, your audio is really bad.
I think we can read it. I don't know if we can speed things up.
Yeah,
We can see the beginning balance,
right.
ending balance,
Our eight
and
cents of
8 cents
interest.
of interest. Okay.
So total funds available in checking is 1355.
Yep. So that's it. And it's the fund breakdown.
Yeah.
And of that, there's still $341 designated bench funds. Can't use bench, but I kept them separate in case we decide we want to.
Okay,
So,
so there's still $341 designated beach funds.
that's
Uh,
right. From the King County grant. Good.
okay, your voice came back a little bit there.
I'm very disappointed. This is a fairly high quality headset. So okay. So anyway, that's where we are, and that was at the end of the year, the end of the year statement. So that's the most recent statement we've received. Okay.
All right. So
Questions, comments?
any questions? Hearing none,
Okay.
we'll move on. Pat, do you
I
have anything to
I think
report?
Gidget's got a
Oh,
question.
did you?
I think Gidget's got a question.
Yes, we have some $300 still in that account for Dwight's bench and I would like to suggest that maybe we could put some of the plants that were planted around the bench. I don't know that it made it. It
Yes.
looks pretty sparse, so a consideration would be spending some of that money to buy new plants and place it around the bench.
Yes, and that was in fact, I think, the what was left in the allocation was to keep the planning came in under budget, but we kept it in there for replacement and upgrades. And Dale's shaking his head, nodding his head.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm in agreement. I think we talked about that, and think that this spring we will fresh the plantings.
Okay.
Jack
Yes.
has a
No.
hand up.
I just, sorry. I know folks were concerned about recording. I think we're being recorded. Just
Yes.
and again, I'm okay with it. I just didn't know if I wasn't sure where we left all that.
Yeah. Well, there was concern about the AI companion
Oh,
doing the notes, but we record all of our meetings for and put them up for a very brief time.
okay.
For people that can't get access during the during our regular hours,
Yeah.
but that's part of our normal practice. Um, okay. Back to any reports. We lost. I lost from my screen. Pat, are you there?
Oh, I'm here. Did you, I
Do you
just
have
had,
anything to do you have anything to report from?
uh, uh, things are just normal. I go to the park daily. It was Sunday morning. I went down 6 a.m. and Metro was brushing, one of those floor brushing the bays and another one was pressure washing the cement, the bays that Metro. I just want to say, this week Metro's been putting, as usual, a lot of work on maintenance I think Rod, when he came to our meeting once, our county councilman said that Metro does have a responsibility as part of the community, not to have a detrimental impact. And I think they've really tried to be clean and secure place to park. They're really working at it, and as well as the park as well, and picking up the litter, the both the Metro bathrooms cleaned twice a day. The one at the park is cleaned once a day, and I think they're in good shape. I'm trying to think in the park if the trail has been swept more than I've noticed. It's been cleaned. And I don't know if they've got a new sweeper. I've been curious about that if it's in use. But anyway, the trail itself has been uh, more free of debris. Uh, I think I might. I think I might save some of my things for later, but I think that's all. I'm pleased, and as far as my work, things are going well.
Yeah. You want to say some words about the January 8th meetings with the city?
Do I want to? Let's see. We had a few there. Jack was there, and I was there, and Jay and Wes. Um, it was a meeting. I don't know if I'm qualified, but it was a council of neighborhoods. I think Mallory Von Abema is she had organized it, and it was uh, to to encourage participation by the neighborhood committees in different in projects, asking them to detail what is special about their neighborhoods uh, and how they and what projects they could identify for the year ahead. We had an excellent report from Ms. Ledbetter on Destination Shoreline, and she is working on neighborhood specific uh, the highlights for the website that she works on. Uh, I think we had some other reports. I mostly enjoyed the discussion after what our neighborhood association is doing and what we plan to do.
Yeah. Jack, would you like to kick in a few words from your perspective?
Uh, um, no, right there with them. Actually, I came a little late, but I
Okay.
helped fill out some of the reports. And yeah, I think, I used to chair that committee, the Council of Neighborhoods, for a while ago. I'm all for it. I think it's actually a really nice way to collaborate with our resources, and people get ideas for events that they might not have thought about doing, or they might not even know. Like some of the newer members at some of the different groups, they aren't even aware that, they used to do things in their neighborhood. Um, and it's just anyway. So, and there's access to grants for that. Those grants are now being, there's more competition for those grants because they've opened it up to social organizations. But I think also, it's still available to the neighborhoods, and there's a lot of merit behind that. So a lot of community building, a lot of really great stuff that comes from it. Things like Night Out Against Crime and all those too, they're very popular. But some of the groups that kind of die off when they come back, the newer members don't know about this stuff. So having a larger, broader group and sharing ideas and just collaborating, sort of a neighborhood jamboree. I love it. I thought it was a great thing, and I hope that we can kind of rekindle some of this. Mallory what was her name? Ben Abima. I've attended a couple courses that she's done. One was a collective of just learn more about your city and how it functions. It was excellent. It was an excellent series of classes that she did. Now she's doing something more with neighborhoods as well, and I'm going to support it.
Okay. Now, a couple of things that I picked up from that is that they're trying to get a little bit more organized with the reimbursements part of the neighborhood association relationship with the city. So a lot of things have to be pre-approved before they can get reimbursed. And so they want to see estimates and things. There's a $5,000 limit on per neighborhood on the neighborhood group grants that can be put forward. And there's only like a $20,000 limit for the whole city for all of that. So there's a contention for all of the forces, all of the funds that are available for that. There's a second group of um, allotments available for environmental impact grants, or that are also limited to $5,000, but that's less associated with the neighborhood associations, although they can be part of it, than it is individuals or groups putting together things that will have environmental impacts. And then there's some reimbursement for standard operating funds that's all of the neighborhood associations can do. That's limited to about $750 a year. But all of these things they need to budget for, and we need to put in some estimates for what we're going to be spending before we actually and get approval through the city to get reimbursement for them. So it's getting to be a little bit more controlled than it was originally. So I'm not sure who had their hand up first. Diane and Sid have their hands up there. And you're first in my list, so I guess we'll.
Yeah, can I just say what I put my hand up because I just wanted to check the numbers are pretty low tonight. And it's just kind of remarkable. I didn't get a notice of the meeting. Sid did, I didn't. I didn't know if there was any problem with the mailing this month or anything. And the numbers seem kind of low.
Well, the numbers, yes, the numbers seem. Oh, wait a minute, we have somebody in the waiting room. That reminds me.
It's getting better. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know if we had mailing list problems particularly. I didn't see too many bounces.
I got the mailing, Diane, yeah, Diane.
Sid did, I didn't. I was just commenting, so I'm just saying it's okay, but I didn't know if there was a problem.
If you, Diane, why don't you send an email to Elna Board and note that so that we can verify the list is correct.
Is Diane okay? She's just not here tonight?
She is in for a hospital visit, so she's made a trip to urgent care, and I don't know what the status is on that.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And Janine.
Janine, hi. My name is Janine Sullivan, and my husband and I are new to Echo Lake. We moved here in July. We're renting a home from Sandy. So she's the one that sent us the link for tonight. And my question, first of all, we love living here. We're still looking for a home to buy. So we're happy to rent until we find something. My question is, who takes care of keeping the trail all the way like to the Y clean? Because 2 weeks ago I do a lot of walking and I was just overwhelmed with all the garbage that was everywhere. So I just went and picked it all up myself. And I also went to the lookout point by the Y, that little area there to look at the lake, and there was just plastic bags and there was water bottles, beer cans. So I cleaned that all up. And is there a committee or something I'd be happy to help with that to keep the trail looking a little nicer than it is for that?
Now, the trail you're talking about is that
On Stone Avenue where I live, that,
yeah.
yes.
Interurban
Interurban trail, yes.
Okay, it is part of the interurban trail.
Yes.
Yeah, Pat.
I go daily. I go from 200th, but just to Ann's house, so I don't go to
Oh,
the
you don't
end of,
go. So
I go to the end of the park, but I don't go.
right.
I don't go. You're talking about south of there, and
Yes, I started from Ann's house and I went all the way to the Y. So
Okay,
that's
well,
what
we're a committee then. You and I. That's
Yeah.
our. Well, we,
all right. So I'd be happy to take that on while we're living here to keep it looking better. Unless there's some kind of organized, is there something from the city, or does the YMCA supposed to be responsible for their property, aren't they?
they, I believe they are. I believe they are, and Ann might have a few more tips on this.
Yes, I already emailed her and she sent me a long response on who to contact.
Okay,
Yes.
you can do that, and I hate to say it, but I have a little higher standards. The city does clean the trail I don't know how often they do
Right.
it, but
Right.
but I like to see it daily. But I do just do that part, and they don't have the money. I don't think they have the manpower for that.
Right. But I would think the Y would have
So,
care about
yeah, I
their
would think
place.
so. Yeah.
Yes. And there was like right there next to the water, which bothered me because, that's infecting all the little habitats, things that are in the lake there. And we don't want plastic bags and all that stuff in there. So,
Yeah, I still think, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but I still think that the trail and the lookout is the responsibility of the city,
is
Of the
it?
city.
of the Parks Department. That was my understanding, but
Oh, it's right in front of that big grass area there.
You're thinking the boardwalk, aren't you? Meaning the boardwalk?
Yes,
the
the
boardwalk, right?
Yes. At the boardwalk, there's a little lookout place.
Yes.
And right in front of that, it looked like someone had a party there. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah. And
I
then
think-
I also found somebody's mail too. Somebody looked like they vandalized a mailbox. So I collected
Oh.
that mail, and that was way on 192nd Street across Meridian. So I delivered that mail to them because how did that get there? So,
Well, thank you.
oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So we will check on who's responsible for this trail.
I didn't hear.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's again, is that any better?
No,
Oh.
you're really cutting out.
Well, I get some of the best equipment money can buy. It's city equipment. It's my city. Sorry, I work for another city. But yeah, we'll check and see.
Janine, can I put my email? I'll put it in chat too. I would like to
Yes.
talk to you a little more about that. I might have some ideas too.
I would be happy to do that.
I know that other people. Michelle Goldberg has mentioned that those stairs. She's talked to the city about the stairs, and I think they said that's the Y's responsibility. So I don't really
Right.
know who
Yeah.
who exactly. The city, I believe, has told several people that that's the Y's responsibility. But
I was going to contact the Y too and say, hey,
Yeah.
let's keep this nice for people to
Thank
enjoy,
right.
Yeah. And then if I see somebody like camping at the park when I
Yeah.
was out walking,
Right.
do I contact the city for that? Because they're not supposed to do that, right?
Do you mind if I talk on this too, or is it?
Yes, go ahead. I have no idea.
If I see a tent in the park, and
Yes.
I did see one about 4 days ago, the large black one. I don't know if that's the one. I call 911. I report it.
Okay.
The tent camping is, and they do immediately come out. There are other possibilities. Mallory's boss says you can call her too, but Easiest to call to alert the police, and they enforce the law on that.
Okay.
I generally do not report. It's not illegal to sleep in the park, or there are people occasionally sleeping, and I don't think the police will get involved in that. But if there's a
Right.
tent, that's camping, and they don't allow that.
Right. Okay. I will do that if I see that again. Yes.
That's what I would do
Yes.
that's in the park.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, let me get rid of my hand here.
Okay, so where were we? City and money. And oh, okay. Any other business that I'm forgetting here? One of the things we had hoped to have was some folks from the PTA and the school.
Travis is from the PTA.
Is he here?
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, yes, there he is. I see.
You
Yes,
better check the
Okay.
waiting room too, did you?
I was in the waiting room for a little bit, but
Yeah.
but that's okay. It worked. I made it in. So
Cool.
uh,
Cool.
yeah. So yeah, is now a good time?
Yeah,
Yes.
this might be a good time to talk about what's going on with the school levy. And
Yeah. So just as a quick reminder here, that the two school replacement levies are coming up on the ballot, which everyone should be getting out here soon. So we're hoping to have everyone approve that on February 10th. They are replacement levies, so they're not new taxes at all. So they're just intended to continue like the existing funding that would otherwise expire. So I think that's really, really important to notate that. There's two, the educational programs and operations, so the EP&O levy. And really what that does is it is for helping to maintain class sizes and support staff, kind of like counselors and librarians, other student support services, transportation, student activities, and professional development for um, teachers and staff. You know, as we all know, that the state doesn't fully cover all the costs of running schools, and so um, that's where that difference is made up specifically for those type of things. And so basically, if it isn't renewed, then we'd have to start looking into cutting programs or increase class sizes, reduce staff, stuff like that. Certainly stuff that we, don't want to do because we want to give our kids, what they need. And unfortunately, the state doesn't fully fund that. So we have to make up for it. We're fortunate that we have such a great community that will help do that because we all know, Shoreline has great schools and we'll all succeed together. The other one is the capital levy, the technology levy, which helps for computers, network infrastructure, Wi-Fi, cybersecurity, also classroom tech and technical support with basically keeping our schools up to date with technology. So I think that's really important, and we definitely want to make sure everyone knows about it and the importance and the impact of it, and vote yes to support the replacement levies.
okay, excuse me. Now, if there's anything else going on that people want to report, this would be a good time. Otherwise, I think we'll get into the roundtable, such as it is, and get some ideas about what we want to do for the coming year. Diane, you have your hand up. Or Sid does. And you're muted.
Oh, yeah, you're muted. We can't hear you, Sid. No, it's still muted.
Still not there.
Yeah.
We can see you. We can see your mouth moving, but not hearing. Now you're frozen.
They're frozen now at the moment.
Well, while we're waiting for Sid to come back, Janine.
Oh, I just have one comment about the school levy. Being a former school teacher, I'm hoping that this all passes because it's such an important thing for schools. That's all I want to say. Because it's just needed so bad because with all the funding that's being cut from our schools these days.
Agreed. Thank you.
And I want to ask you, Travis, are we still one of the few districts that have full-time librarians in every one of our elementary schools?
I'm sorry, I didn't fully hear what you had mentioned. Did you say something about librarians?
Yes, full-time librarians in elementary schools.
As far as I know, yeah, we still do. I don't know about other districts, but I know that we do.
Like Washington still does. I know that.
I mean, I would hope so. But again, I mean, if school districts, if they don't have the money for it, that's where we, go out and ask our community for the assistance. And it's, basic things like, you know, a librarian, hopefully people can realize that those are necessary. Um, but like I said, I can't speak to other school districts about what they do, but we're fortunate that we still have ours.
Thank you.
And thank you, Travis. Our school is important to all of us here. Our schools.
Didn't leave.
Oh, that's
Oh, we can hear you now.
I had a question for Travis, but I don't know if it's for now or for the roundtable. But I'm curious.
If you don't mind, that'd be great. I do have to hop off here shortly.
So you want the question now?
If everyone's okay with it,
Yep.
I'll do my best to answer.
I'm okay with it, so I'm gonna do it. So do you have anything to say about what is there anything happening at the Echo Lake we're talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
About as it relates to current events like in Minneapolis and such, are people starting to get concerned about?
Yeah, that is not within my scope. I would say.
Well, I guess take your PTA president hat off and your Echo Lake parent hat on, or I guess you don't have to talk about it at all. But I'm curious.
No, I think it's important that we have a safe environment for students, right, and their families, and I think that is always going to be the top of mind and the main focus for anyone that goes to our schools, especially Echo Lake. And so I know it's a conversation that I'm sure, have talked about, but nothing that I think nothing that I'm aware of. But I know it's something that that is on the top of people's minds. But I don't have a good answer for you, to be honest.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Travis,
Yes?
I'd be interested in if there has been a discussion about if ICE agents come into the school, because ICE agents have picked up people at Aurora Village, which is very close to Echo Lake.
And I'm certain that there is on a district level, and I'm sure with the principal, Mr. Lohman, that they have something that they discuss, or there's a plan. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not something that I am aware of, as just being part of the PTA. Maybe I should, but again, that's something that is either at the school level with the principal, and how they go about operating that, or even at the district level. So unfortunately, I'm just not the right person to speak on their behalf. But I mean, this is all a good thing that we're all, concerned about, right? We want to know and make sure that, our kids and families in our neighborhood are safe and have the resources and whatnot. So it's still a good conversation to have. I just personally don't I'm just not the right person to be the representative, if you understand.
So if something happens, like something like a calamity of let's call it a calamity, how does the word get out into the Echo Lake school community that the shit's going down?
Yeah, I mean, with any sort of, event, I would say, we get, as parents, we get notifications through an app that we have. And so every person is connected that way. And so that's how it is through all the schools, is they are connected through an app. And that's how they have the official communication that comes out. The school district as well sends out the communication that way. Um, and the individual teachers can communicate that way as well. So they send out, hey, here's what's, we're doing for the week, or stuff like that. And then the school itself does it. And the PTA, we also send out our communication through that. So parents and families will get, like our newsletter. And then we also will send the same PTA newsletter to our general membership. So those of you who are PTA members here at Echo Lake, you should be receiving kind of our invitations and kind of our updates. If you're not getting them, and Claudia messaged me, she said she wasn't getting them, but I showed her where they're at. It comes from, it doesn't come directly from the PTA. It comes from what's called givebacks. And so that's where our official communication goes to our general membership. And so if you're not seeing the emails, maybe check your spam folder. It might go in there because it doesn't say like president, Echo Lake president. But that's also how we get the word out as well. So you can also just maybe search in your Gmail or whatever, your email for givebacks, and then you should start hopefully seeing that information if you are a PTA member. And if you're not, please join.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Mm.
but hopefully that answers your question
So
about.
the app you're referring to is called Givebacks?
Oh no, the app that the parents have, it's called Parent Square, and that's what the parents use for communication with the school. But for separate PTA communication, we use the PTA, like all the PTAs in Washington, use what's called givebacks.
Okay.
So.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. If we get back to our more into our audience participation portion, Travis, since you need to leave early, if you want to start off with introducing yourself and introducing any topics you would like to see us covering over the year that you've thought about or haven't thought about,
again,
but off the top of your head.
No, thank you. Well, again, I'm Travis Fulham. I'm one of the Echo Lake PTA presidents here this year. But I don't really have anything for the group here, except for just really, thanking everyone for their partnership here and being so connected to the school. But I hope to continue, joining these meetings as much as I can, to really just see what else, I can do and we can do as a school and the PTA to kind of help support the neighborhood here in Echo Lake, since this is where we're at. And so we want to just make sure we can do the best we can to make it a great place to live.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we would like to hear from you guys a bit about any school events going on, things like trunk or treat or other special events you're carrying on.
Yeah, certainly. We'll definitely make sure we try and keep everyone updated. Again, like I said, you see like official communication coming from from us via givebacks. So that's who the email comes from. But yeah, and we also appreciate the support too on the events that you help us out with, which is wonderful. So thank you.
Okay. Now we haven't heard from Jerry, who's in the dark down here. If you'd like to introduce yourself and say a few words about what you'd like to be seeing us doing, you can jump in. While we're waiting for him, does anybody want to throw in some other contributions for what you would like to see us do for the coming year?
Are
What you would like to
we
hear about?
are we planning anything for FIFA? I mean, along the Aurora corridor and anything like that, or I'm just tossing it out. I just
Yeah.
FIFA.
you're
We had not considered anything for that, but that's something we can talk about what's going on with.
they're talking about the city's talking about watch parties and things like that, and Echo Lake's a lovely park, and you know, um, want to keep it lovely too. So, but I think. I mean, I don't imagine it'll be mobbed with soccer hooligans, but I think, some beer drinking and and maybe some watch parties. But anyway, I don't know what public assets we have necessarily. I'm trying to think of what pubs and what other places, that we could help support local business. You know what I mean? Through this
Yeah.
and also do some community building at the same time. Just thought.
Okay.
I think that's really neat. I think we need to hear more on. I had heard the interurban trail might get a little refurbishment or something like that. I don't. I'm real curious as to what is happening or what I guess the dates and what types of events. We don't
It's
we don't encourage alcohol in city parks, but there are places where if that's places to meet, there are some near our neighborhood, I think.
Yeah. I got a thing right here. Let's see, share. Um, can you see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the playoffs for right
Okay.
now. I think they've already got these established. At least this is the latest one that I've found. So and or that I was given. Eben Povey, City Council member Eben Povey, and someone else, they follow it religiously. So
Uh-huh.
I'll see if I can reach out to him and find the games. But those are the dates, and those are the players. I know that one of the things. So we had this as a project for the Shoreline City Council or uh, uh, sorry, Shoreline Chamber of Commerce. And now the city has taken it over, which rightfully so. They have more assets, more paid employees to help promote this. But one of the things that came up in our preliminary, we helped build it from more of a grassroots, um, was that there's a lot of foreign people, foreign nationals that are coming to visit. Despite the fact that there's been tougher international travel for soccer, people feel like it'll be unimpeded. And with that said, excuse me, parks are going to become areas where certain cultures, certain groups will collect and they'll connect with one another because it's helpful. Not everybody's going to speak as well, speak English as well, and they could all work with each other to learn, get up to speed with how to get through commuting, how to get through, to and from games, how to do things, how to just that kind of thing, how to make it a more enjoyable experience. So those are things that have come out of this as well. And I know Eritrean Ethiopian, that's going to be a pretty big community. There's going to be some, what is it, German or what was there'll probably be some Persian. A lot of folks coming over from Bellevue. Apparently, there's a large Persian community. I'm half Iranian, and I know a lot of those guys all hang out over there. They all live over there or hang out over there, and they'll be coming over here. Egyptian, I don't know so much, uh, but yeah, I think I expect to see that.
Well,
So if anyone speaks Farsi, salam khube.
our shoreline park is very neat, is very crucial to be near the light rail and the two soccer fields and the beautiful forest, the tree
Absolutely,
pavilion,
absolutely.
picnic pavilion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were supposed to be some events peripheral to the FIFA itself that were going to be
There's
supported in the
there
park.
actually is. They're gonna have these the little guys, the youth soccer. They're gonna have like a little playoff with those guys. Actually, they did that for the Club Cup that was 2025. It went really well. And they had JHP, which is this Well, that was a group from Ghana, drummers and musicians and dancers. They did a wonderful job presenting there. I mean, wonderful. It was really fun. And it was just one of those things where you're not even expecting it. And yet, and they had like a little village where you could buy stuff, little merchandising things and all that. So anyway, it was very nice, and I expect this to be even nicer.
Okay. Um, Anyone else want to chime in here? I know one of the things that Diane Hetrick had put forward was we have a primary coming up with contested elections for a state representative here, that we might want to have some candidate invitations in the next month to try and get some viewpoints on and some exposure to who's running and what they stand for.
I think that'd be wonderful. Yeah, it's well, State Representative Cindy Ryu is pursuing uh, Senator Jesse Solomon's seat, and she is bringing with her in tow Keith Scully, who's City Council member Keith Scully, to backfill her seat as state representative. And contesting them is, of course, Jesse Solomon, and then with him, they're working sort of together is Lauren Davis and Chris Bloomquist. And I have all those names, numbers, and information. If you need them to do invites, happy to do it. Happy to
Okay.
share.
Mhm.
All right.
You, uh, could I, we have to get some more ideas here, but I think
Yeah.
I think one of the main issues is recruitment and building our organization, the depth of the recruitment, I guess is the word. And at the meeting, I did talk to I believe it was North City Neighborhood Association, and they do have a social event monthly in addition to their meetings. And that sounded like a pretty good idea to me. Maybe in a restaurant, maybe you'd only get 6 people. I think 6 people would be a good number if you had some new people. Maybe even a coffee shop or some type of social. Well, for example, I could work with Janine, and we could invite several other people who are interested in litter pickup. That would, or maybe, that's not a bright. My interests are not general interests. We could have some fun topics, that might bring people together. Uh, that was just one idea, how to work on recruitment. No, the one idea I had was maybe social events around certain topics. Because we've got Anna's working with Friends of Echo Lake, and Derek has got a group working on the Midvale Gardens. There's a group that works on the Densmore Pathway. The Aurora Village Partners is kind of a loose group doing work around Aurora Village and the park. Those are the ones that I know about. They're just in my neighborhood, but I think I'm encouraged, and I think others have ideas where they live that have potential. Uh, what do you call it? Projects, or that could. I think people would come together on. I'll be quiet for it. Excuse me. Thank you.
Well, that was one of the issues that was brought up in the January 8th meeting of cross neighborhood participation in designing things for grants. The having a broader relationship between different neighborhoods could give you bonus points towards getting grant money. So inter neighborhood cooperation, as well as more direct neighborhood involvement in the neighborhood associations, both of those things should be useful for keeping us going. And speaking of keeping us going, I totally slipped my mind. We in theory should have elections for our board members today in this membership, and it should have been in our general meeting thing. If you don't mind, I actually put up a little voting thing that we can launch now to reaffirm our current members and then ask for nominations for subsequent members. And if you're not interested in running or putting up some poor sod who is not here to run for the board, we are interested in doing some board expansion. But we can do that in remaining meetings of the year. And Dale, you're muted even if you look like you're about to say something.
I'm not sure you can hear me if I say it, but
You're coming through now.
okay, good. So yeah, board elections, and where is the did you put a poll or a
It should be up
there it
now.
is.
And get a chance to vote for you can have two people like Sid and Diane might be able to vote in, but just fill out one voter per person. There are two slots available. And you can vote for any or all of us or none of us. None of the above says you don't like any of us.
So I'm confused. We have two options.
Yeah, some people like Sid and Diane have two people in the same room in the computer
Oh, I
room.
got
So,
you.
so if you have two voters in the same place, you can vote twice. Vote each one separately.
And I believe that all the current members have conceded
Yes,
to be
yes,
stand again.
right. So this first one is for all the current members. You can vote for any of those. Do you believe you want to see going forward, or vote against us all? And
then take your oil.
That's right.
Sorry.
Now, typically we have voted for the entire slate.
yeah, and we could do that again, but I thought in the past we've actually done secret ballots, and we try to do this. So
Okay.
I just set up a quick and dirty thing here. So we've got, let's see, I can't vote because I'm running the meeting, but we've got 6 votes in plus we have 3 with 2 people. I know Sid and Diane are here, but
And I'm not voting because I feel like I'm brand new here, so it's like I don't know everybody yet. So, but you all seem like wonderful people, so I'd say yes to whatever's there.
Right.
So you are eligible to vote as
Oh.
because you are renting
Yes,
in this neighborhood. So I mean,
yes.
you are a resident of this neighborhood. So
Oh,
you are
but
certainly eligible.
okay, but I don't know.
We won't hold you to vote though.
I know. Maybe at the next meeting or whatever.
okay. So, and while we're collecting that, does anyone want to put their name forward or put forward a name, and we can deal with that separately, or if not tonight, you can put forward somebody, or definitely can add people in the middle of the year if we need to. If we can't, if we have people that are interested and eligible to be board members, want to be board members.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I don't see any opposition to anyone or anyone left out. So I think we'll end this poll and go back to any further discussions. Okay, we can share results.
Great,
And
great. Okay.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for serving.
okay, so any other topics you people want to throw out and help us plan the next 11 months? And
I had kind of an interest in years ago there were plaques along the interurban trail. They were
Mhm.
diagonal metal plaques on a cement base that were markers. I don't know what they exactly signified. Someone was holding a lantern and said this is a quarter or a half or an eighth. And the one, I believe the one at Echo Lake, there are markers in the cement. There's currently one at 200th and Burke on the ground, but there was one at Echo Lake and there was one up by Sky Nursery. Those two have disappeared. And it's been a couple of years for the one at Echo Lake, but I was thinking that might be a potential Mallory was mentioning, maybe we could work with across Aurora. They're working very much on a historical project over there. She thought maybe we could talk about, I don't know. I just had this idea that replacing these markers might highlight the interurban trail. And I don't know who initially worked on them, or I think it looks like polished steel. I don't know, etched. I can share a picture of what one looks like a little later with the one that's existing. But we used to have one at Echo Lake Park and one at I believe it was at Sky Nursery.
Yeah,
And,
I don't know.
yeah. Mhm.
I don't know what those would have been.
Um,
Maybe mileage markers or something like that. But
yeah. There was quite a bit. Like we have a plaque at 200th and Ashworth that says Interurban Trail, and there's one at 192nd, a wooden quite marker, and then of course the at Meridian in the corner, Meridian 205th at the trellis, and there are quite a few markers of M Plus North and Mount Lake Terrace, highlighting the existence of the trail.
so years ago there was a joint project with King County and Snohomish County for signage, and that's where the interurban trail signs came. Those little round ones with the red arrow.
I see.
That was when I was in Linwood in 2003, so that's quite a while ago.
Uh-huh. I want to share. This is what the plaque looks like. Can you see it there? It's probably 8 inches, 9 inches across, and maybe a foot and a half high. I don't. And
Interesting.
they're in a cement base. This one says a quarter. Apply air brakes. There was quite a bit of work that went into these, and each one was unique. And I don't have a picture of the one that disappeared from Echo Lake, but someone knows what these. I don't know who. I think Dale might be onto something, that it might be a combination of a county
Well,
project.
this wasn't part of that initiative. This is something else.
Oh, uh-huh.
Because I helped develop them for the city of Linwood for the trail running through Linwood, so
Uh-huh.
I was involved in that. But
Yeah. Well, something we have something like this too. There are different markers like this around on the trail. Uh,
yeah, that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. We and Mallory said that there might be some money to highlight the interurban with dealing with pre-FIFA money or something. I don't have insight into it, but that's just an idea that would spruce that up.
yeah, I have a vague recollection of an art project that went on that was supposed to take the surveyor mark locations and put plaques in the ground on it. And I don't remember what year that was from, but it's ringing a dim bell in my memory.
Yeah. And there's the issue of theft. I mean, if this was taken, or I don't know how to secure them more, metal is a high prize theft.
Or it could just have gotten moved in construction and not replaced. But
Sounds like it could have been. So the interurban right of way started. The southerly terminus of the right of way is at 87th and Evanston in Seattle.
Oh,
South of that, it ran down Finney Avenue and Greenwood Avenue to Finney and down Finney across Fremont Bridge and then down Westlake into downtown. The trolley barn was near Westlake, where Westlake Square is. That was one of the original. There was one at 9th and Yesler, and so. But from 87th and Evanston, it was in a private right of way all the way into Everett.
hmm.
And that right of way runs through Shoreline, of course, where the interurban trail bridge is, and the trail behind Shays, and further south in the cemetery, there's where the trail runs behind the cemetery. That was all private interurban right of way.
Hmm.
So your plaque looks like it's something, but I'm not sure what a quarter is, whether it's a quarter mile from a place to apply brakes. I don't know, because it was an active railroad. So,
Yeah.
so it had actual railway signs and things like that. So it actually ran through, with modified railway rules when the interurban trolleys ran.
Uh-huh.
From I think 1912 to 1939, I think was the years.
Hmm.
okay, didn't Diane have a hand up?
The one thing I wanted to say was, I know a lot of you were there, but the picnic last year was so amazing. That was one of the most wonderful events, and I don't know how that's going to be being thought about this year. What's her name? Organized it.
Sarah Cumrace. Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if she's willing to do it again or not, but I would really just, boy, and if it takes more people helping or something like that in some way. I know in the long run there was a lot of us that helped, but I'm just saying, really, I would just that and that would be one of the best ways. There's so many people there, and that would be a wonderful way to get people recruited for this as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
and so that was just a great event. If all those people came back, oh my gosh. So that's my first thought. The only other thing I would say is, I don't know how to even say this, but I mean, one of the things I do a lot is walk our neighborhood and talk to people and just try to keep our relationships good with each other. I am very worried for what's coming in the next couple months or year, as far as what might happen in the neighborhood, and trying to keep people talking to each other. I don't care what political side anybody's on. What I care is that we think about each other. And I'm just saying, I'm concerned, I mean, Sid brought something, we're scared, we're scared what could happen and I don't know who thinks about that or how to think about communities to figure out ways that we can stay a connected community, as I don't even know how to talk about it, because this is not everything that's been exactly happening in my neighborhoods over my lifetime. But I'm just commenting on it. I don't know what kind of a topic that would be. I don't know who would come and talk. I don't know any of that. But I'm just saying that that's one of my key issues. It's why we walk our neighborhoods almost every day, just talking to people, staying friends with everybody, hoping that if things get really tight, that we'll be able to stay peaceful.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that I don't have any idea for a topic or how that. I'm just telling you, okay?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I just tried to note that as like keeping the neighborhoods together in troubled times.
Yeah.
Maybe is
Yeah. How we
way
think
to-
about each other and how to, keep building something. We have such a lovely city. There's been so much good that's happened. And in our different we have our own little neighborhoods among our
Yeah.
bigger ones,
Yeah.
And I mean, like we do, a lot of us do our neighborhood picnics and do all these things and it's for fun, but I always have a motive of if we're in tough, we talk about emergency preparedness and some good things are happening with that. That's always a good topic, by the way, because it is a way that it brings us together in a particular way.
Yes.
So again, it's the actual items of preparing, but it's also that we communicate with each other. So anyhow,
Yeah,
that's my
and I
thoughts.
think that falls together under the emergency prep
Mhm.
idea. I mean,
Yeah.
any number of things could be precipitating emergency events
Mhm.
that could easily divide us if we don't have our act together.
Anyways, I'm glad to be part of all this with you all. I'll say that.
Well, thank you. Okay. Any other thoughts for what you'd like to hear this year, or what you'd like us to do this year?
I was just going to affirm what Diane said. The benefit I've found in being a part of this group and being a part of the board is the friendships that I've gained with people that I probably never would have met before. People like Gidget and Dennis, and I've become friends with them through the years, and that's one of the big benefits of serving others together. And I would encourage um, people to take an active role, even as part of the board, and to think about it, because I have a set of friends that I probably would have met very few of them had I not been involved in the board
Mhm.
and the things that we've done over the years. And we are a diverse group. And the beauty is that we all care passionately about our neighborhood and about this city. And that's what has brought us together. And the differences are not so much a difference when we put that passion and that concern together. So now one of the things I think I want to try to recruit more people to be on this board, um, and I do want to kind of push now for more things in person. Well, we've lost a lot by not meeting in person, and it's far more convenient to meet like this, but we've lost a lot of that camaraderie, not meeting together, not meeting in person. So that's something I'm going to try to be actively encouraging is meeting in person more. And
Mhm.
because my thought was, well, these are great meetings for people with children, but we're not getting a lot of people with children either. So that's really been counter. It's been counter to what I thought might be able to happen.
Have
So
these meetings always been on Zoom, or have they ever been take turns to someone's homes, or
they used to be at City Hall prior to
right?
the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and the pandemic shut us down, and we moved to Zoom, and which has its place. But again, it's just not the same as everybody coming together in a meeting room and meeting and kidding each other, and the, the the two people in the back of the room who are disruptive and can't keep their mouth shut, and everybody else has to tell them, Dale and Dan, you need to stop it. That kind of stuff. There was a closeness that we haven't had for several years.
Okay, one of the options that we've been looking at in that regard is hybrid meetings with stuff at the city, and I wonder if that actually meets the objective you're talking about, or uh, whether we really need to go to pure in-person meetings to meet that objective. And so I'd like to throw out that question for people to think about and talk about. First of all, whether it's important to you that we meet in person, for you individuals, so we get a sense of what other people think, and whether hybrid meetings would meet that, where we have some people online and some people in a meeting room.
I think that's from now on, though, they're gonna be hybrid meetings, I think,
Mhm.
just because the technology has been developed. But I think there's a place for in-person meetings for hybrids.
Okay. Any, Diane?
I was just, maybe one of the meetings this year could be to prepare to do that, like
Mhm.
let's say meeting, April or something like that. Let's plan to do a really good in-person meeting or something like that, so that could actually be the focus of it. And then you can think about who to talk or how to work it. I don't know. I like the idea of them at least being hybrid, but I agree. I've recently had it been to some meetings in person with some people that I hadn't in a while, and I just could not believe how different it was. It's like, oh my God, there's just in 3 dimensions. But
I agree
no,
I agree
Right.
with you, Dale, that it's so convenient to meet together through Zoom, but we do miss that opportunity to have some personal one-on-one side conversations and I just think there's a real well, that's why the socials are fun. The dinners are fun because it is a time when we actually see each other eye to eye.
Okay.
I agree with that as well. I think there's something special about an in-person meeting, and I think we should work toward that. I guess I was thinking more in terms of hybrid because to include those who may not be able to come, I think we'd benefit from in-person meetings.
Is there a room at the YMCA you could use? Because that's close by. Because I've been to one meeting there for something else.
Were you there for a hybrid meeting? I mean, a
No.
Zoom meeting?
It was for a different organization. They were having a meeting there. It was on a Saturday, so.
Well, what we have been offered is going back to the Shoreline City Council room where they have all the equipment set up currently for that function. So that would be the easiest for us to do right now, I think. That was an option for the longest time when we were closed out for the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's just recently come back to being something that we used to have the in-person meetings there, and they had some equipment that wasn't really terribly functional. But now they supposedly have fully functional hybrid meeting capabilities in those meeting rooms upstairs in the city hall. So from my technical perspective, that seems like the easiest thing for us to do. Trying to set up in a place that isn't equipped for it is beyond my skill set.
Do people bring snacks and drinks and things to make it kind of fun?
We had done that, yes.
Yes, I think that would be fun. Just have a little sign up. Just bring your favorite appetizer or something, or some dessert, cookies.
And we always had coffee and hot water for tea, and but access to City Hall has changed too since then, though. I mean,
Yeah.
the upper floors were pretty much open, and they are not open anymore.
Now there's a sign-in process, but they allocate a person to do sign-ins for those meetings.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more off-putting maybe than when. But on the other hand, you go to some place and you actually meet someone there to tell you where to go.
Right.
Whereas before you were kind of on your own to get yourself into the meeting room. So it's going to be different, but maybe better in some ways.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a general consensus that people want to see live action going on rather than televised. Any other areas that we can improve or revisit? Stuff that we've done in the past that we should go back to? Any last words from anyone? Okay. And if not, we can close the meeting. I can leave turn off the recording and let people mingle for a while if they want. Any objection to ending the meeting and ending the official part of the meeting? Turning off the recording?
Now,
Hearing none?
before we do this, let me ask one thing. In the past, I've done a presentation on property records and um, property resources through the city and King County GIS maps and things like that. Would that be of interest to people? In the past, I think I named it "What part of your property don't you own?" And because it seems like there's a lot of in my career, there's always been questions of easements and things like that, and parts of their property that they think is theirs, and it's actually right away. And when the city comes to build sidewalks, they're surprised that the city is going to tear out their fence. And so, is that something that might be interested? And maybe I'll dust it off and refurb it for this new century.
Yes, yes.
Some of our neighbors, in fact, several of our neighbors have had some kind of sewage problems. And when it came to having someone come in to dig a trench or, there's been some surprises. So I think that would be a great topic.
Okay.
Especially with the new zoning rules along the 185th Street corridor and other places where there's zero offsets from your neighbors, things like that. That might be some new rules that people aren't familiar with.
Yeah. Okay. I will work on that then, try to put that together.
Great topic.
We were one of those sewage problem people recently.
Well, we were too.
There, you too, huh?
I think
Love our
that the
houses.
infrastructure, it's getting old.
It is.
And more people are having problem in finding surprises on what they own, what is really theirs.
It's true.
What things
Okay.
they're responsible for versus what what the city is.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else before we close the meeting? I want to thank you all for your ideas and being part of our sparse community today.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good that you showed up.
Yes.
Okay, let's turn off the recording here. And